Very good afternoon to you from Aleba, just outside Dunkeld on the A9. If you can hear the background noise, that is just cars and trucks rattling past. I will try to get some sleep because I'm back up again. Actually, I start my shift at 10 past 11 this evening, but I've been parked up since just after 12 noon, and I will hopefully try and get a few hours kept before the alarm goes off at around about half 10 this evening. But anyway, November is here, and we have got some pretty November-like weather to speak about. Strong jet stream, as you can see here, according to the GFS, roaring across the Atlantic at a pretty good clip. We've got cold out of the north, warmth to the south, and we've got systems developing along that jet stream. You can see here with the overview chart the system that brought a gust of 110 miles an hour on the west coast of the Isle of Wight last night. Actually caught me off guard. The whole system, in fact, caught me off guard. I think because I was writing up November Outlook and also doing videos with regards to winter, I kind of didn't see that coming. Not massively surprising given the fact that we've got an environment to the west of the UK that is susceptible to some fairly rapid cyclogenesis at the moment. We've got the dynamics in place. We've got the air mass collision in place as well to produce such features. But Meteo France did name the system. They expected the strongest winds on the French side of the channel. I could be mistaken, but it looks as if actually the south of England saw the strongest wind gusts. Like I say, I may be wrong there. There might be some exposed parts of that north coast of France that saw gusts in excess of 80, possibly 90 miles an hour. But I do know there was an 84 miles per hour gust at St Catherine's Point on the Isle of Wight. But of course, the exposed site on the western tip of the Isle of Wight, Needles Point, which I did happen to visit last August, did see a wind gust in excess of 110 miles per hour during the early portion of last night. Sorry, there's two sirens rattling past there. I'm hoping that there's not been an accident actually at some point further up this road. It's never a good sign when you've got blue light cops driving north on the A9, so I certainly hope that is not what I think it might be. But anyway, so system exiting, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 features out in the Atlantic here, all winding up, and in to some degree or another, all four systems may have impact on the UK pattern here. We've got another system that rattles through with a potent frontal system during the latter half of tomorrow. Heavy rain and gusty winds as well. Gale or severe gales through the Irish Sea, for example, through the Bristol Channel, the Celtic Sea, possibly even the English Channel as well. We may see severe gales for a period of time here. That system pushes through, and then we have got another system rotating around that trough over the North Atlantic here. It just basically spins in from the Atlantic across the British Isles here. Look at this here, potent area of low pressure. It's actually going to be drawing up some very, very warm air from the subtropics, but it's also going to be sucking in some very cold air, and that is what's going to allow this system to develop to into the 930s in millibars. In fact, it actually drops the pressure down to 925 millibars over the North Atlantic. Thankfully, it's way to the north and west of the British Isles. But if we play through the loop here, you can see that system weakens, but does have impact on the UK. And this is going out the next Monday here, so a week ago yesterday. And we do have more wind, more rain to speak about. After that system pushes through, we've got another system that comes in. So we just get this bombardment of low pressure off the Atlantic here. And then as we push towards the middle portion of the month, there's some back and forth in models. Some models indicate that we have another surge of very, very mild air coming in from the south as the trough deepens over the North Atlantic here. But there's other indications that we could continue to see this barrage of low pressure wind and rain into the UK pattern. Now notice here as we push towards Tuesday the 15th. Bearing in mind this is the GFS operational latest run, so it's the 6Z run, and these models, of course, flip back and forth constantly. But remember what I said to you in the November outlook about the Julian oscillation continuing to progress eastwards and doing its full loop of the planet over the next few weeks here. What is going to be worth paying attention to, and there's no guarantee that this is going to materialize, but when you are seeing the Julian oscillation continue to progress eastwards through the tropical belt, that does have impact on the upper air pattern within the mid and the high latitudes. And it's interesting how the GFS model is picking up on the development of high pressure over Scandinavia. So we're building heights here. All the while, we're going to start to see these areas of low pressure undercut that wheel of high pressure over Scandinavia. And notice here that we're starting to see snow as across parts of the British Isles, across the Low Countries, and into the central and southeastern portion of Europe. If you look at the 850 temperature, you can see what I'm talking about here. Some bona fide cold air is getting drawn east to west across the continent with high pressure up over Scandinavia. Now, if you look at the 500 millibar pattern of the GFS, this is looking over the northern hemisphere, and I want you to pay attention here. So we've got, of course, this trough that is continuing to cycle areas of low pressure into the British Isles here off the Atlantic. But I want you to pay attention to the buildup of pressure here over Europe, Scandinavia, over eastern North America, and also over Alaska. Notice here as we go from week 1 into week 2 of November here, we continue to see these areas of low pressure get spawned over the North Atlantic, pushed towards the British Isles, but all the while, as these systems are kind of pinballing around this upper level feature here to the northwest of the British Isles here, so that upper level trough, these features kind of develop, spin around that wheel, so to speak. And what it's essentially doing is it's starting to lift the area of high pressure over the north of Europe here. And pay attention here as we go towards the middle portion of the month. Watch how the areas of high pressure actually start to join up. So we've got a buildup of pressure over the Aleutians, over Alaska. We've got that area of high pressure that's now starting to kind of build over the top towards Greenland. All the while, we've got an area of high pressure over the North Atlantic that hooks up with that Scandinavian high, and also that area of high pressure over Alaska. And this is an interesting one because we could start to see more of a negative Arctic oscillation, North Atlantic oscillation. We'll start to force the trough south and eastwards, and you're almost essentially turning the upper level flow on its head. So this is it's talking about the evolution of the pattern. I'm not saying this is going to happen, but I'm saying in a sense that this could happen. And the reason why this could happen is the progression eastwards of the Julian oscillation. Also, we need to take into consideration the Julian oscillation is becoming more favourable over the Atlantic, over the Caribbean to produce tropical systems. They in turn become involved in the low latitude pattern, tries to transport heat northwards towards the mid latitudes. That in turn affects the jet stream, buckles it, forces high pressure up into the high latitude regions of the northern hemisphere. And this is all about the evolution of the pattern. By the way, forget about the polar vortex for now. That is not involved in the pattern, I don't think, anyway. We've got that little bit of warming taking place from Asia towards the pole, but it's not really having any great impact on the stratospheric polar vortex at the moment. This here pattern, if it was to happen during the middle and second half of November, question would be how long does it last? That is a good one, but as well as that, it's going to be interesting to watch this, I think, as we go forward. Some of the models, like I say, indicating a significant rise in temperature towards the middle portion of the month, while there's hints at least of something quite the opposite taking place here. So, keep it right here on my YouTube channel. I'm not all of a sudden driving the cold card or anything like that, but simply showing you the evolution of what a potential pattern could take place with the Manchurian oscillation progressing from Indian Ocean through the continental maritime region into the Pacific, into the Atlantic, and rotates right all the way around. That can have significant impact on the pattern across North America, the Atlantic, and Europe as well. So trying to join up the dots, trying to make it as straightforward to explaining how the pattern can evolve, how things can develop, and what the result of that could be is the goal here on my channel. If you haven't already done so, do check out my November Outlook, which is available for free on all my content, of course, is free. So please do check that out on marphoneweather.com as well. So I do appreciate you watching. As always, please drop a comment, please like, please share with your friends and family, and hit that subscribe button, and of course the bell for notifications of each upload. Getting interesting. We are approaching winter, so stay tuned. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. Bye for now.